Hello students, myself Miss Rachna Jain, Associate Professor, Department of English, Government PG College, Rajgarh, Alwar. Today in this video, I am going to teach you Bhartari's famous poem, Is Poetry Always Worthy When It Is Old? This poem is in the syllabus for the students of Day Part 3rd, English Literature, Paper 1st, Unit 2nd. The topics of my today's lecture are Introduction to the poet Bhartari, his life, career, his major works, the poem Is Poetry Always Worthy When It Is Old, and then explanation of the poem with context. King Bhartari was a Sanskrit poet, philosopher, moralist, and a grammarian. He lived in the latter half of the 5th century. He was the king of Ujjaini, now Ujjain, in Malwa in central India. He belonged to Parmar dynasty and was the elder brother of King Vikramaditya. He was generous to his subjects. He was a great scholar and a lover of poetry and nature. Legend has it that he renounced the world and retired to the forest upon the discovery of his queen Pingla's infidelity. He was a shining star of Indian culture. His works present ideals for human beings and will be a source of inspiration to the people for all the time to come. His major works. Bhartari's famous and major works are Niti Shatak, Shringar Shatak, Vairagya Shatak. Niti Shatak contains 100 verses on ethics, Shringar Shatak contains 100 verses on love, and Vairagya Shatak contains 100 verses on renunciation. In these verses, Bhartari has described friendship, altruism, love of justice and knowledge. Diseases, old age and fear lead us to renunciation. The inner joy is the real joy. The worldly pleasures are ephemeral. The language of Bhartari's verses is lucid and has factive beauty. Bhartari wrote the Indian classic genre known as fragmentary lyric, having rich imagery and great sensuality, having astonishing beauty and subtlety. His major work on the philosophy of language is Vakpadya. He is the author of linguistic theory of Oxford. According to him, the speech principle is the manifestation of the ultimate reality and the nature of consciousness. Vak is the manifestation of this consciousness of the timeless in time. Hence, only Pratibha, the highest kind of intuition, can get at the meaning of Vak, and in its highest form, Vak uses speech, thought, and vision. Bhartari wrote 3 collections of poetry, each containing 100 verses. His poetry reflects the times, such as the wisdom of the world, love, and renunciation. These are the major themes of his works. According to him, morality is the foundation of human life, Shringar is the beauty of life, and the final aim of life is renunciation. That is, without morality, Shringar, and renunciation, human life is incomplete. His 100 verses on ethics, beauty, and renunciation provide moral education of the youth and help them in character building and lead them to the renunciation in old age. Now I read the 4 lines of the stanza composed by Bhartari but translated by John Burke. Of what use is the poet's poem? Of what use is the bowman's dart, unless another senses reel when it sticks queering in the heart? Here, in these 4 lines, Bhartari says the effect of poem on the reader should be just like the effect of an arrow which pierces heart. Here the words of what use means it is quite useless, and dart means arrow, reel means move away, sway, and queering means vibrating, piercing. So in these lines, Bhartari says, of what use is the poet's poem, of what use is the bowman's dart? He says that there is no use at all of any poem composed by any poet if it does not touch the heart of human beings, and there is no use similarly the arrow of any bowman if it does not pierce the heart of the people. The poet means to say the aim of the poet's poem is to touch the heart of the reader so that his senses sway in a moment. Bowman's arrow has a similar aim. It should pierce the heart by sticking to it in a vibrating manner. Bhartari says, if the poet's poem and the bowman's arrow do not pierce the heart of another person, they do not perform their function, because real success of a poem or an arrow lies in sticking to the heart and thus sway the senses of another person. So here Bhartari wants to show the capacity of the poem as well as the role of the bowman's arrow which pierces the heart. And these lines shows the imaginary power of Bhartari his poetic talent. Scoundrels without the wit to fit a word or two of words together, and daunted not a whit to sit in judgment on the abstruse poetry of another. Such men will listen with attentive mind, alert to see how many faults they find, and if they are vexed because they fail to grasp the sense of works conceived the reader for of intelligence, they naturally do not blame their foolishness. A girl who is less than perfect always blames to dress. Scoundrel means wicked persons, villains. Wit means intelligence. Daunted not a whit means not discouraged in the least. To sit in judgment means to judge a poem, especially when one has no right to judge. Abstruse. Abstruse means difficult to understand. Alert means watchful. Vexed means annoyed or distressed. Grasp means understand, comprehend. Conceived means formed in the mind, means imagined. Or blame means find fault with. In these lines, Bhartari says that some lesser critics who cannot write even a single line of a poem do not feel discouraged when they are ready to give a judgment on the difficult poems of other poets. Such critics try to appear wiser than they really are. He means to say, lesser critics, scoundrel means lesser critics, are wicked persons. They are the villains who themselves cannot compose even 2 lines of a poem. They are not able or eligible even to compose the 2 lines of a poem. However, daunted not a bit, however, they are not discouraged in the least in judging the poetry of the poet, even they are not able to understand it. They still criticize the works of other poets, although they do not understand the real meanings of that work. Such critics try to appear wiser than they really are. They are eager, they are curious for finding as many faults as they can. And if they are vexed because they fail to grasp the sense, the poet means to say, however, they feel annoyed and distressed when they find themselves unable to comprehend, to understand the meaning of those works which are imagined and written for intelligent readers. At such time, they do not blame themselves for their lack of intelligence. They blame the writers, such as a girl who is less than perfect always blames the dress, just as an ugly girl blames her dress. So in these lines, there is a great message. Really, it is based on Bhartari's practical experience. The rhyme scheme of this stanza is A B A B C C D D E E. The next 2 stanzas I will teach in the next video. So thank you students for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.